First of all, the maximum tariff against the rest of the world, including against China, will not move manufacturing jobs back to the United States. If President Trump is serious, President Trump needs to talk with China, because China has been the most successful manufacturing country in the world today. China's manufacturing output is larger than EU, US, Japan combined together. And China produces about 6 times more power for industrial use than the United States does. So if President Trump is serious about recreating manufacturing jobs in the United States, he needs to do several things. And I offer this advice without charging him a penny. He needs to build up connectivity, build up container ports, build up high-speed railway, build up high-quality highway system, for example, build up inner river transportation, and he needs to increase power generation like crazy. He needs to at least double the power capacity in the United States to really achieve meaningful amount of manufacturing jobs back to the United States. He needs to train the American people. He needs to instill this discipline and work ethics which will enable the great people in the United States to work in factories which need to be competitive, which need to have the marketability not only in the US market but in the global market. On top of that, you need to create an environment, pro-business environment. Now, I'm afraid in the United States today, they lack almost all of this. And you think tariff will really force manufacturing jobs back to the United States?
This is Victor Gao, former translator to Deng Xiaoping and current vice president of the Center for China and Globalization, laying it out plain and simple. If the United States truly wants to revive its manufacturing sector, it doesn't need to throw tantrums over trade deficits or weaponize tariffs. It just needs to do the one thing it refuses to do. Learn. Learn how China did it. How China built entire manufacturing ecosystems from scratch. How it constructed deep water ports, nationwide logistics systems, high-speed rail, and modern electricity grids to power industry, not just to talk about it in congressional hearings. But it's not even just factory production or semiconductors, but about a country that knows how to build, period. Whether it's basic home appliances, electric vehicles, massive hydropower dams, or entire cities from scratch, China has proven over and over again that it doesn't just talk, it delivers. And that's what separates it from the so-called richest nation on Earth, the United States. Because here's the strange reality we're living in. Every few weeks, you hear about China doing something that seems impossible. A new megacity, a futuristic airport, a 300 miles per hour bullet train, a highway built through the Himalayas. It's constant, it's real, and it's accelerating. Meanwhile, America, the largest economy in the world, can't seem to build anything. Cities are falling apart. Subway systems are aging and flooding. Bridges are collapsing. High-speed rail, still a fantasy. California's LA to San Francisco line has been in development since 2008. That's 17 years of political gridlock, lawsuits, ballooning costs, and not 1 mile of completed line that carries passengers. How is it that China, a country that had widespread poverty just 40 years ago, can build thousands of kilometers of track across mountains and deserts in half a decade? While the US can't even link 2 of its biggest cities with a functioning train, that's not a minor difference, it's a civilizational gap. A fundamental divergence in capability, planning, and willpower. The US keeps finding people to blame, China keeps making progress. How on earth did we get here? The answer lies a few not so pleasant to hear truth. Please take a moment to drop a like and subscribe for more content. Take a look at Shenzhen. In the early 1980s, it was a sleepy fishing village with 30,000 people. By 2025, it's a tech megacity of over 17 million, with one of the world's most advanced subway networks, 5G infrastructure, and vertical housing solutions. All of that built in under 40 years. Meanwhile, in the US, the I-10 Calcasieu River Bridge in Louisiana was declared structurally deficient in 1994. It's still being used today. That's 30 years of warnings and 0 replacements. Even the Pulaski Skyway between New Jersey and New York took over 12 years just for partial restoration. In contrast, China built the 102-mile Danyang-Kunshan Grand Bridge, the longest bridge on Earth, in just 4 years. The US can't even repair a rusting overpass in that time. How does China do it? Well, to put it simply, China embraces mega projects while America has non-stop red tape. In China, once a project is approved, it moves. Just like that. Xiong'an New Area was announced in 2017. By 2025, it's a full-functioning smart city, with AI-managed infrastructure, green energy grids, and cutting-edge transportation systems. Meanwhile, California's high-speed rail, voted on in 2008, still incomplete, still stuck in court battles over land use, environmental reports, and local opposition. The current timeline for a 171-mile segment may be 2033. That's 25 years to do what China accomplishes in 5. America's permitting system is broken. One lawsuit can stall a project for a decade. In China, infrastructure is treated as a national mission. In the US, it's political theater. It's not about democracy versus authoritarianism. It's about dysfunction. That's one thing America just doesn't seem to understand. Instead of spouting buzzwords like capitalism, socialism, communism, or whatever ism, China just gets things done. Is that so hard to understand? To put it simply, when China says it's building a city, it coordinates at every level. Central ministries, provincial planners, engineers, real estate, even AI firms. It's not chaos, it's alignment. America? Federal agencies argue with state transportation boards. Cities sue counties. Counties fight the EPA. It's a system designed to fight itself. Not only that, but China's infrastructure plans are written in 5-year blocks with 30-year visions. There's continuity between governments. Mayors don't undo the last mayor's work just to score political points. In the US, every new administration tears up the last one's plans. Federal funding is a ping-pong match between Congress and the states. The result? Projects stall, contracts get canceled, and billions are wasted on reports instead of roads. Let's take a look at another crucial aspect of a society, which is transit. China has built over 45,000 kilometers of high-speed rail, more than the rest of the world combined. These trains run up to 350 kilometers per h, are powered by clean energy, and connect even second-tier cities with precision timing. That's right. This isn't just some high-tech transportation reserved for 2, 3 good cities. These are common. Meanwhile, Amtrak's fastest train, the Acela Express, averages just 65 miles per hour between Boston and DC. That's barely faster than driving. California's long-promised bullet train, still broken into unfunded pieces, with no track completed between LA and San Francisco. In 2025, China announced plans to upgrade major segments of its HSR network to 400 kilometers per h. America, meanwhile, is still debating whether it's cost-effective to fix potholes in Detroit. Not only that, but cities like Hangzhou literally use AI to manage traffic lights, cutting citywide congestion by 15%. Suzhou has facial recognition access for subways and schools. Xiong'an's entire power grid is smart managed, adjusting load based on weather and usage patterns. Imagine that on top of grade A physical transit systems, they're still finding ways to improve. Compare that to the US New York City's subway floods when it rains. In 2021, Hurricane Ida caused flash floods that shut down entire train lines. Not because of the storm itself, but because the 100-year-old drainage systems couldn't handle water. Boston's infamous Big Dig took 25 years and ballooned to $24 billion, only to result in average congestion relief. While America's cities are running on ancient wiring and bureaucratic delays, China's cities are preparing for autonomous vehicles and climate resilience. Another reason for China's insanely well-designed public transport system is the fact that its urban design is rail-focused. Every city with over 1 million residents is either building or expanding a metro system. In 2024 alone, China approved over 700 kilometers of new subway lines across 10 cities. Unlike the US, where public transport is chronically underfunded, in places like Los Angeles, buses arrive late, trains are unreliable, and infrastructure is falling apart. Over 45% of Americans have no access to public transit at all. That is absurd. Imagine being the biggest economy on the planet, and half of your population literally has no access to public transit. And even the ones that do, they can only use unreliable and outdated systems. China doesn't even just build for itself. It's been exporting this capacity. From Jakarta to Addis Ababa, Chinese firms are constructing ports, railways, data centers, and entire urban zones. In the global south, as the US has been sending lectures, China's been sending blueprints. And the worst part of all this is the fact that the United States still thinks it's the global leader in everything. But step outside the echo chamber and look at the real world. Airports in Shanghai are cleaner, faster, and more high-tech than JFK. Train stations in Chengdu look like spaceports. Roads in Beijing make Los Angeles highways look third world. China has already passed the US in infrastructure, in planning, in build speed, and in cost efficiency. But Washington still thinks a new bill and a few ribbon cuttings will change the tide. It won't. Victor Gao was right. The US doesn't need to keep fighting China. It needs to ask. It needs to put the ego down, learn how to build again, and reconnect with the spirit of actual development. Because while America is stuck in paperwork and partisan squabbles, China is building the future, kilometer by kilometer, city by city. And by 2030, they'll have long since left the US in the dust. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more content.